Sally Ford with Linda Collins and Andy Jones, and we're back for the Arboretum. Linda, tell me a little bit about that tree point map, the digital map.
Yeah, that was made by a person at UTC in the GIS lab, Nyssa Hunt, and it is just a wonderful thing to have. When you go online and open it up, it has little icons of the trees that are specific for certain species, and you just click on any one of the trees, and the family name, genus, species, common names, and geographic origin come up. And then if you click on another point that's there, it's easy to get to, it goes to the Virginia Tech website that gives even more information.
Yeah.
Like leaves and cones and fruits and bark and all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the requirements for a level 2 arboretum is to have a map, and so Linda's idea was to do a virtual map. And Nyssa, a graduate student from UTC, came and we walked her to every tree, and at every tree she'd do a GPS point, and then we'd give her the names, and so it's overlaid on a Google Earth map that zooms in on McCoy Farms, and it shows all the little dots and numbers, and so you can walk with your phone. You read it with a QR stamp, and the map comes up on your phone, and you're able to take a tour of McCoy Farm and Gardens and identify every tree as you get to it. And as Linda says, it gives you not only the name of the tree, but you can click on it further, and it will bounce it back to the Virginia Tech tree app and learn more than you want to in a day's afternoon.
Well, you know, I've actually used it a little bit since it was posted, and I've found the Bigtooth Aspen that y'all told me about. It's back in the corner, and I found the Paw Paws and big leaf magnolias and all kinds of trees. It's really a wonderful, handy app to have. So now Linda, Andy, Arlie, and I are going to visit and talk about a few select trees, and then we'll look at a representative sample of the various wonderful trees at McCoy Farm and Gardens.
In the tree and cut out a lot of dead limbs, trying to make it a good specimen tree.
Right.
But there's still a bunch of dead limbs I hadn't gotten out of it. But that thing was consumed with vines.
You can tell.
English ivy.
You can see the remnants of the dead vine.
It's unbelievable the difference. And even when we had Pierce Pettit's concert here, I took a bunch of pictures at that point to show the progress that needs to be made, and it was full of thick green. You couldn't see the trunks.
Yeah.
And tell me again about the background of the tree.
It's a Japanese or Chinese cultivar, but it's found around temples in Japan. It's planted around temples. Its wood is very similar to walnut. Very hard, slow-growing tree. It blooms late in August or late in the summer. This was one of these trees that we would have had no clue about had it not been for Hill and John.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Andy with his clippers. He's never without them. And notice he's a southpaw too.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
You want to come on down.
So, Linda, tell me about this linden tree. I understand it's one of your favorites.
Well, I think it is my favorite on the property. Children love it. They love to climb up on it. It just makes a great horsey, and after we put the label on it, I just stood back and saluted it.
I love it. It's one of my favorites too because I love the way the limb just goes out there.
This is our weeping hemlock, which is not species distinct from the regular hemlock, but it is a very nice tree. And John Nessel said it was one of the most valuable trees we had on the property. We've worked hard to keep this tree healthy from the Willia deligid.
They are so bad.
They're awful.
And it's very closely related to the hemlock that you're used to
Eastern hemlock,
seeing,
yeah.
and it only has one DNA change from the other trees, but that makes it weak. If you notice, as you look toward Anderson Pike and the fence at the end of the driveway, you notice the alley of sweetgums, especially on the right side. There are 4 of them planted, but we've lost some on the left side, and we'd like to order some sweetgums to replace the ones that are lost. And we think it's just a lovely way to enter the property.
These were 3 beautiful white pines below the Serpentine Garden, one of which died and fell down in a big storm, and the trunk of that was used to make the bench in the pineatum. The white pines are a northeastern tree that for some reason grows very well in the south, and we have many of them on this property, but these are 2 of the most elegant ones, I think.
So tell me all about the pineatum.
Well, it was named by Paula Zanini, Hale Craddock's wife, and it's, when you put a name to something, often it'll really stick, and this is what we've called it ever since. And it just feels like a sanctuary to me.
It is wonderful.
It's one of the many rows of trees that were planted long ago on this property that run sort of north to south.
But you couldn't even tell there were the rows of pines because it was so overgrown. And once all the stuff cleared off, thanks to Andy, it just shows these magnificent trees all lined up.
Yeah.
What do you think about a journalist that shows up to interview with a half-dead battery?
It was 100%. Y'all are big talkers. And that's why, and
This bench, Andy.
yeah.
This bench it just turned out to be a serendipity, a great serendipity. It was one of the big white pines that died below the Serpentine wall, and in cutting it up, I came to this big, long trunk, and I just couldn't bear to chop it up, and thought about making a bench out of it. Moved it with the tractor up by the blacksmith shop and sliced it up into various pieces to fit this design.
It's beautiful. My granddaughter loves it.
This back is book matched to the front, so it actually came off here and was moved back here.
That's cool.
And it's a good stopping point.
Oh, it is.
Just to sit
Have a picnic
and
or just to
enjoy.
be quiet.
Yeah,
Love
the feet, the stand is part of the length of the trunk as well. This is continuous with the bench. So this is a solid piece of wood.
It's
And
beautiful.
this was just added on.
Well, it is a key feature
Yeah, and it's
to the
comfortable,
pineatum.
too. It has just the right slope.
Very popular with the homeless.
And the teenagers.
Linden Tilia. All right,
There you go.
there goes Punch Up.
The Heart of the Tree by Henry Cuyler Bunner. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants the friend of sun and sky. He plants the flag of breezes free, the shaft of beauty towering high. He plants a home to heaven and nigh, for song and mother croon of bird in hushed and happy twilight heard. The treble of heaven's harmony, these things he plants who plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants cool shade and tender rain, and seed and bud of days to be, and years that fade and flush again. He plants the glory of the plain. He plants the forest heritage, the harvest of a coming age, the joys that unborn eyes shall see. These things he plants who plants a tree. What does he plant who plants a tree? He plants in sap and leaf and wood, in love of home and loyalty, and far-cast thought of civic good, his blessing on the neighborhood, who in the hollow of his hand holds all the growth of all our land, a nation's growth from sea to sea. Stir in his heart who plants a tree.